they getting them engaged and having them enjoy what they do is the biggest reward. And when you see your people succeeding in life and buying a home, buying new cars, able to put their kid through college or whatever their goals were for their families and helping them achieve their goals and dreams, there's nothing more rewarding as a business owner to see that happen.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. I mean, that to me is like, this is why we're here. It's seeing them succeed in life. And it's been, I mean, I've been in this business over 30 years. I've had employees come to me and say, look, love working here, but I want to be my own boss and I'd really like to go into my own business. Are you okay with that? And some of them I mentor today and still coach, and some of them competed against me for years, but they never touched a customer, and they never touched an employee, and they did it right. And we worked alongside each other. Hey, nothing better than friendly competition, right? And so we worked alongside each other. And it's really fun to see them succeed. And it's really fun to see somebody who is an employee grow into a business owner and better themselves and better, their future and their family's future and all that stuff.
Marie chimed in here, said, people don't leave jobs, they leave their bosses. So true, Marie. Yeah, absolutely on the money there.
Yeah, definitely.
So another blind spot I think I've heard in some of our in the conversation thus far, and that is the idea of being a doer. Right? You got to be the doer. That is a tough. I mean, look, being brought up as an Indian kid, I will tell you, I was surrounded by a bunch of doctors, lawyers, and engineers. It was all about doing. So are you going to go to, I mean, most of the kids I grew up with went to Harvard or Stanford or Yale and stuff like that. So if you weren't going to Harvard, Stanford, or Yale, then do you really exist? I didn't go to Harvard, Stanford, or Yale. I was a terrible student. Oh gosh, I just admitted that publicly. But I so thought for a long time I had to prove that I could operate at that level. It's not what it is at all. Mm-hmm. It's that shift from going to doer to facilitator, building other leaders within the company because they build a vacuum behind them. Talk to me about that.
Absolutely, because we can't do it all. I mean, time is the one constant in life. Like there's 24 hours in a day and you're not going to change it. And so many people talk about time management and being more efficient and stuff like that. But regardless, there's only 24 hours a day and you can't buy more time. And so how much time do we really want to spend at work? And is that why we're doing what we're doing? I mean, as business owners and entrepreneurs, why? We're paying, and I get it when you're small and you're new and you don't have any money and you can't afford to hire people, get it. And wore like 100 hats. But as you start hiring people, you have to make sure that you teach them well and train them and empower them and, have resources for them to succeed, whether it's processes or whatever, and let them help you improve those because, you just can't. I mean, there isn't enough. You can't buy time. And when you work too much and you try to do it all yourself, you get in your own way. And you're going to look back one year and go, wow, where did the last 10 years go? Because all I've done is work. And what did I sacrifice in that process? So yeah, very empowering once you start empowering your people, because it's kind of like, this is awesome. Like,
I spent a lot of time with my kids trying to make sure that whole doer mindset is not how they define themselves, right? Their own self-worth, which I think is a very important term here for leaders and owners of companies. I keep telling them, how many people do you want to be able to make a decision for? If you want to be able to make a decision for one person, well, all you need to know is one person. If you want to make a decision for 25,000 people, well, you need to be able to touch 25,000 people on a daily basis. How do you do that? And I think that comes back to the numbers again, right? You can't talk to 25,000 people in a day, but the numbers can tell you what their story is, right?
Sure. And the other thing is to be the best. As business owners and entrepreneurs, we have to be the best we can be. And we have to be able to look forward, project forward, look at what the future is going to bring, what, like I said earlier, what got you here and going to get you there. So what needs to be revised, what processes need to be recreate, tweaked, developed, etc. And in order to do a lot of that visioning for your future and stuff, the only way to get that done is to take time off. You've got to be able to recharge and redo your batteries in essence. And the only way to truly do that is to get out of your business and take time off. And I can't tell you the number of people who can't leave their business for a day, let alone leave their business for a month. And it feels so good to leave your business for a month and come back and see that it's still there, probably running better than ever, because they had something to prove to you that they could do it, right? And so it's amazing what your people will do when you let them do it. But we as entrepreneurs aren't going to get those great ideas and that future thinking and the creativity that we dreamt about before we started the business, that all went out the window because we were too busy working in our business. And so we need to have that work on your business time. And we also need our batteries recharged. And I used to feel guilty for not working in an 8 to 10 hour day. And even had some employees when I first started cutting back my hours saying, it's 10 o'clock. What are you doing finally showing up? Kind of. And it's kind of like, are you kidding? Like, add to my guilt. But after a while, it's like, no, if I'm in the office, then I don't need you. If I'm doing this, what do I need to be paying you for? Told me I had wrong team members. And but that free time and taking care of my health, I'm an asset to the company. I got to take care of me too. I can't just keep doing. I have to also take care of me because I need to be visioning so that we can go to where we need to go.
And Maria chimed in a little while here saying, trying to fit it all into 1,440 minutes in a day. Yeah, that time goes very quickly.
Yeah, very.
And I would encourage anyone else who has been listening in, who's been getting some value from this, I'd love for you to chime in too. Marie, thanks for all your comments. I think they are definitely shaping the way we're talking here. I want to talk about something else in terms of a blind spot that I don't think has been specifically said, but I think is kind of an underlying text here, and that is whether you call it whether it's minority, whether it's being a woman, there's always some sort of bias. There's always some reason to hold back, or something that I'll call it the glass ceiling. There's always something there. They're always going to be there. How do you punch through that? I mean, it could be, look, you came up with the English was not your first language. That's a challenge, right? There's always some challenge in front of you. Sheri, how do you punch through those things that are there in front of you that you're kind of born with?
So being a female in a very male-dominated industry, right, which has changed a lot over the years, I will say that. There were times, not just with myself, but like with employees or even customers, like, what are you doing in this business? Or why did they send you out here to give me a quote? Or, being kind of like, some of the men were like, yeah, whatever, she's just a woman. Like, she'll get over this in a minute, she'll have another idea, or she doesn't know what she's talking about, or things like that. So I think that's where, why the numbers became so important to me was, one, I could prove my response sometimes through the numbers, or my thinking through the numbers, and exposing your people to others and your business to others, to where people go to I think education and learning is the most important thing that all of us can participate in. Because if you're not learning or growing, you're dying, right? They say if your business isn't growing, it's dying. Well, I think us as individuals need to be learning. And I think the future is all about learning what could happen or planning through learning. I think that watching, listening to podcasts and reading books and getting educated from others, not necessarily through the educational system, but there is so much learning out there, whether it's through a coach or, audiobooks or podcasts or whatever. But I think learning is huge. And I think that people who will be successful in the future, it's all about what they know and what they're learning and how they're keeping up. I don't think school stops at high school or college. And do we all need to go to college? Who knows? Like you were saying, the Harvard thing. But I think that just because we didn't doesn't mean we can't learn. And providing those avenues for our people